Well, Derrick Porter is the current executive producer, principal writer, and presenter of Music and the Spoken Word. It's a weekly broadcast of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square. And back in 2014, he succeeded Lloyd Newell, who had served as the program's voice for 34 years. And so we have the esteemed guest here in studio this morning to share a little bit more about the series that goes out every Sunday morning right here on SABC2. Of course, also his journey at large. Derrick, good morning. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
What a time to be alive, because this baton has now obviously been handed over and trusted to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service. If we look at this moment, what it actually means for you, tell us about your own journey, how it have culminated to this point.
Well, this was a surprise for me to end up not only, with Music and the Spoken Word, but even here in this chair today in South Africa. And in fact, while I've been here in the country, I learned that my fourth great-grandparents lived in Port Elizabeth 175 years ago. Wow. And my fourth great-grandfather loved to sing. And he sang in a church choir. And here I find myself 175 years later in this area, representing the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square, which for me is a dream come true. And it has been a most incredible week spending here in this most amazing country, getting to learn and to see and to feel the hearts and the goodness of the people, hearing and seeing them sing on street corners and gatherings and places, and choirs tomorrow in places that I'll be. It has just been a most miraculous and incredible trip.
It's a full circle moment for you.
It is.
Sure. What a history moment as well for you as well and your family. The power of music and the spoken word, it's so important. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, what it's come to mean for you and how you use it as a tool for healing?
Yeah. Well, there is a power in music. And words have power. Yes. And when we channel that to our hearts, I believe I have found that for me it opens a conduit to heaven. And that conduit from heaven allows for me to receive special feelings. And those feelings that come from God give me courage. They give me hope. They give me peace. They build joy. And even when tragedies and incredibly difficult things happen in our lives, sometimes known by others, but very often known only to ourselves, when we can take time to connect with God through music and through His spoken word, whether that's through Scripture or just through listening to others that believe in Him, that instills within us these feelings to keep moving forward. And I have found that to be true. And that is the very purpose of this broadcast that has been running continuously, never missing a single Sunday since July of 1929, is to program 30 minutes of music and 3 minutes of a message to be able to broadcast freely to the world those feelings, to hope to instill those in the hearts of people the world over.
It's a sacred responsibility, because I even wanted to ask, given that it's had such a long track record, the inspiration behind the message, the music as well, how do you ensure that you're connected so that you can be the vessel?
Well, I have learned that I've had to quiet my life. And so I have made a decision to disconnect from certain things, to engage deeper in certain things, but all of that hopefully so that I have the opportunity to take time to be still. And as I take time to be still every single day, impressions or thoughts or feelings come to my mind, they come to my heart. And when those feelings of my mind and my heart come together, I then try to write about it. And I try to make sure that it's a universal message that can be understood and felt by people of all faith or people of no faith. Because truth is truth. And when we talk about goodness and hope and peace and love and kindness and charity, that's something that we all can identify with.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine how many sacred moments you would have also had touching other people's lives, just being that vessel. Is there any story that stands out for you that you saw in real time changing?
Well, honestly, this happens every week, and we receive emails and letters every week. But let me just share one. The very first message I wrote and delivered on air was called Everyday Courage. And I wrote about how it takes everyday courage to just live. It takes courage to be a mom. It takes courage to stand up to the world. It takes courage to say, this is who I am and who I choose to be. And as we take and exercise that everyday courage, it gives us that faith to move forward. Well, there was one couple watching from home, and they sat on the couch together and they held hands. And her husband died shortly thereafter, and it was their last experience together was watching this message titled Everyday Courage. And she wrote me a letter, and I had invited her to come in person some weeks later. And she said, I go back and I read that message every day of everyday courage, and that memory, that moment, gives me the inspiration to keep walking forward. And that's what our hope is that God is in the details of the details of the details of our lives. And when we turn our lives to him and open our hearts, he comes inside and he can make miracles happen and occur. And this message and this music, we hope, does that for almost 7 million people who watch every week, including 700,000 here in Africa alone.
Yeah, it's the heart of the matter. The world's designed to shut it down, and that's where your magic and life also lives. I just wonder if someone is tuned in and needs some inspiration, because the thing, it's also about showing up and being consistent, even during those difficult times.
Yeah.
How do you also pull through and lead by example?
Well, these messages very often may be for me more than anyone else. And as I walk through my life, I have 6 children, 5 sons and a beautiful little daughter and an amazing wife. And we have our challenges that are coming and pressures that we're feeling. But as I write these messages, and I make sure that I am living what I'm trying to preach, because I don't want to be an empty box. And so I have to make sure that I am not preaching something that I'm not willing to live. I am not perfect. I have so many imperfections. But as I take time each day trying to strive to be a little bit better and to do a little bit better, I find this feeling of hope growing within me. And I just hope that others can feel that and recognize it doesn't come from me, but it comes from heaven. And hopefully I can just be a little conduit to that to help them to be able to feel those feelings.
Sure. Well, I can feel you right now. Thank you for that truth as well. I can see it in your eyes as well. You're in South Africa, and I know you mentioned there was some historical component that linked you here. But if you just look at our context, our faith, our people as well, what does it feel like? What do you also take in from this experience here? And how do you think it can also empower you when you head back?
I see a brightness in the eyes and the smiles of the people. As I have been walking the streets from Port Elizabeth to near Grahamstown to Cape Town to here in Joburg, in the airports in between, in the hotels, in the restaurants, I see this light. And I can feel of the goodness of the hearts of the people. And I believe that these peoples are known and loved by God, and that he has a great work for them to do. And it has just been a privilege for me to just simply get to be here and to learn. I have studied for weeks and weeks and weeks leading up to here about the incredible culture and the diversity of the people. And I feel that I have been nothing more than just been rewarded by getting to learn and to feel of the goodness of the hearts of the people across South Africa.
Wow. Thank you for that. We are mirrors for you as well. And obviously it's that unity and diversity project that the world needs to embrace. So you're still in the country. What's left for you to do? And even if you just have a word or message of encouragement for people as 2026 kicks off and continues, what would you like to impart as we conclude?
Thank you. Well, first off, we are filming Music in the Spoken Word here. This is the main purpose that I'm here. And we're going to have a special broadcast airing on April 12th. Throughout the country and throughout all of Africa, talking about the spirit of Ubuntu and how we can all take time to lift and to serve others. And as we do, that comes full circle and seems to help us. And so my message as we kick off 2026 is press forward. As we walk and as we press forward through the challenges, through the difficulties, through the uncertainties, if we turn to God and say, I may not know how to get all the way to the end of 2026, but would you just help me know what to do today? I know, it's my experience. I'm a witness that God will tell us what we need to do today to get through tomorrow. And as we do that day after day, 2026 will be a most amazing year for each of us.
Derrick, I'm in the feels. Thank you for your time and for sharing your story, your message. April 12th, you mentioned that's when it's going to be airing.
That's right.
But executive producer, presenter, writer of music and the spoken word, Derrick Porter, is here in the country chatting about his SA visit, that special recording, of course, and just sharing some of his heartfelt experiences with his time here, and of course, some words of encouragement as we kickstart this 2026. Again, thank you to him for joining us at this hour. As I mentioned earlier on, the series is obviously going to be airing Sunday mornings on SABC 2. Let's leave it there.